Greetings, Earthlings. This is Tamasha, and we are in the kitchen because we're getting ready to make tea. Now, I know you're like, tea? It's like 85, 90 degrees. In some places, it's 100 and something. Here in LA, it hasn't really gotten over 90 degrees, but I know on the outskirts in the valley, it's definitely hitting the hundreds. In Las Vegas, it's probably in the 120s, that crazy, devilish place. And places like Miami and the Caribbean, it's hot pretty much everywhere in the world right now. So we are not going to make a hot tea. We're going to make an iced tea. And the point of this tea is that it's going to be an immunity boosting tea. And so many people think that when they take a medicinal herbal tea, that it has to be sipped on hot. And that's not the case. I make herbal teas all the time that are iced tea. I've been doing it since my son was a little boy, and I would try and figure out a way to get the medicine in his system, but also for him to want to drink it, to like it. I didn't want it to be a chore. So I started making him iced tea, but it was very medicinal. And what made it really good was that I added fresh fruit, I added lemon, oranges, I added maple syrup or honey, so you have to make it really good. It doesn't have to be nasty in order for it to be therapeutic. So stand by. I'm going to show you what we're using, and just so you can see how easy it is to use what you have at home. Okay, so we're back and we are getting ready to make our iced tea. So the first thing we are going to do is make sure we have water, of course. I'm making a very small amount because I made a lot already. I made, I think, almost a gallon worth the other day, and so I'm only making a small amount, but just enough for you to see how it works. This is 16 ounces of water that we're using, just so you can kind of eyeball what the measurements are that I'm using, which is going to be pretty simple. So the main one we're going to boil, and it's not really a boil. Some herbs and spices you can boil. Some you only need to steep, like the leafy kind. Because we're using cinnamon, cinnamon is an immune stimulator. It's very high in antioxidants. That's what we're using. This is 1 stick of cinnamon. Can you see that? 1 stick of cinnamon. Remember, this is 16 ounces of water. And then we're using about enough ginger. Can you see that ginger? I don't want to spill it. Anyway, you know what ginger looks like. We're using about enough ginger, about the size of your thumb. I would use at least that much. You may, no, for 2 cups of water, that should be enough. It's completely up to you though. After that, if you like ginger and you want to do more, you can totally do that. So we're putting the cinnamon and the ginger in there. And obviously cinnamon, like I said, is an immune stimulator. It's high in antioxidants. It fights off lots of inflammatory substances. So sometimes we will eat certain things that are not good for our gut health, and if it's inflammation, cinnamon helps to fight that off. So that's where we're using cinnamon. Ginger is an immune boosting stimulator as well. It's very warming. It's been known to ward off all kinds of viruses, antimicrobial. The same with cinnamon, antiviral. And so both of these go really well together for an immunity boosting herbal tea. So that's how we're going to start. We're going to get that in there. We're going to let that simmer as low as you can get it, because you don't want your water to cook all the way out. You just want it to be warm just above steeping so that you can get the properties. But because it's a bark and a root, like ginger root and cinnamon, those are the kind you have to simmer for a little while. So we're going to let that simmer, cover it up, and let it simmer for about 15 minutes. And when we're done, we'll add everything else that's going to go in there, and the fruit and all of that stuff. And so I'll be back. Okay, so it has been 15 minutes and my timer just went off, and so now we are going to add everything else and pull this tea together. Let's put that right there. Oh, that's hot. Okay, so we already know we have the cinnamon in there. It's an immune stimulator, high in antioxidants. We have the ginger in there. That's an antiviral, antimicrobial, very great for the immune system. Now that we've boiled the barks and the roots, remember we simmer those. We don't have to do a vigorous boil because you want to simmer them as long as possible. So we're going to add green tea. So many people know of green tea as being high in antioxidants, but it's really high in polyphenols, and that is very good for our blood. Just how our blood, the air that circulates through our blood, if that makes any sense to you. So I'm going to use one because one tea bag is good enough for about 2 cups of water. You can like double steep it if you want, or you can use 2. It's really depends on how strong you want it. So 1 tea bag in there, and then we're going to add lemons. So once I said green tea, high in polyphenols, and this one is really good for antiviral specifically. It has been known, it has catechins in it. That's a type of polyphenol, and it has been known to kill all types of influenza. So that's why we're going to use green tea. And then we're going to use actual lemons. Unless you find lemon peels, which you can find in different herb stores, or you can make your own by peeling or dehydrating this lemon peel. Make sure you get organic for this because you're going to use the peel. And you can just squeeze some in there if you want, but we're going to put some lemons in there because lemons, vitamin C, high in antioxidants. It basically enhances the immune system. It gives you an alkaline environment in your gut, and you know disease cannot thrive in an alkaline friendly environment. So you can use lemons. You can also use oranges if you want. You can use both. Oranges is one of the, besides mango, which you could use as the fruit. Mango has a lot of vitamin C, just like oranges do. But yeah, we're putting the whole lemon in there, and I'm just going to squeeze it and then drop it in there. And not the whole lemon, I'm sorry. For this 2 cups of water, I'll do like a half a lemon. But like I said, it's totally up to you. So what you do is you put that in there, and then you cover it up again, and you let that simmer until it cools off, preferably overnight. That way you know you got all of that good stuff in there. And then once you are done with the brewing process and you're pretty much ready to practically drink it, you can put it in a bottle with some sweetener. I used, you could use agave. I used pure maple syrup. That's agave, honey, if you're into honey, you could use that. But that's what you could add as a sweetener, or you don't have to add sweetener. Some people are okay with unsweet tea. So once you do that, you can add the fruit. Now you could use mango, whatever fruit you like. You could use strawberries, you could use blueberries, peaches. The possibilities of the kind of fruit that you can use in your fruit tea, it's basically a fruit iced tea, is endless. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's some berries that, some frozen berries that I had, and there's pomegranate, cherries, blueberries in there. You could use that blend, or you could use strawberry and peach. That's what that blend is right there. You could use that. But basically what you do is after you put your fruit in there and your sweetener, and you want to put that stuff in there first, so then that way you just top it off with the tea. And like I said, I just made a batch recently, so I know my funnel is big. I couldn't find anything else. I got tired of looking. All right, so here we go. Just pour that in there, hopefully without making a mess. Double check myself. So that's really all you have to do. Oop. And there we go. Like I said, this big opening, and I'm still spilling. All right, so okay, we're gonna put that down because I can't seem to pour without spilling, but you get the idea. And so there is your sweetener, there's your fruit in there, and then all you have to do is put a lid on it and let it sit in the refrigerator for like a day to get that fruit flavor and everything all blended. And then the next day I would just go to work. And here's mine. that I have. It's been in there. I have a couple different flavors. This one is blueberry this is blueberry lemon, I think. And then I have one that is a strawberry. This one is strawberry, peach, and lemon. And it has some minced ginger in there because I wanted to give it a little extra spice. So that's just to show you how easy it is to make iced tea. You put it in the refrigerator and there you have it. If you want to pour it over some ice, you can do that too. I don't like to add ice to my tea because it waters it down. But if you sweeten it and give it enough flavor, I guess you don't have to worry about that part. But there you go. Thank you so much for joining me. That is your immunity boosting iced tea. And you can drink that every single day to get those benefits from things you have in your kitchen. Don't forget those spices were intended to heal you first. It wasn't intended to make your food taste good. That's just a bonus. Oh, what is going on? I must have pushed the button again. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Enjoy your tea, and if you make some, let me know how it turns out. Don't forget to subscribe to us. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Go over to my Etsy store, motherearthshealing.etsy.com. Until the next time, smooches.